This is the FV215B 183, a Tier 10 British tech tree tank destroyer, and as it says in the name, it carries a 183mm. Really, any player that pulls one of these out can absolutely ruin even some of the most skilled players' games with the click of a button. You really don't want to mess with this vehicle unless you see it shoot, because then it's a lot of free damage. Now, the 183 has been dubbed for a very long time as one of the worst tanks in Tier 10, down to the fact that it has literally no armor, its turret is incredibly weak, the hull's weak, it has no camouflage rating, and one of the least accurate guns in the game. Obviously, when you combine all these aspects, it's so common to see 183 players dealing 0 or 1,000 damage in their battle, and then just absolutely flopping and dying on the side of a beach like a dead fish. So, in 9.1, the 183 seems to be getting a buff. It's getting one nerf, which is worse camouflage, which, let's be honest, the 183 already has the worst camo in Tier 10. So making a tank that already has the worst camo worse is like beating a dead fish. When it comes to the gun, it's getting more accurate, and quite a bit more accurate. Right now, on the test server, the gun has 0.35 dispersion, which is the same as a WZ-111-5A's 0.353. That is incredibly accurate for, again, the largest calibered cannon in the entire game. Not only does it have better dispersion, but it also has slightly better on-movement dispersion, meaning that overall the 183 is just going to be a better tank and able to hit more shells. Now, when it comes to the mobility, it's also going to be able to reverse at 14 kilometers per hour instead of 12. Now, I'm going to be real. Personally, I disagree with these changes. I think the 183 should still be removed from the game. I know there's a lot of people out there that play it, as this is the most popular tank in the game, but it's not a tank that's really fit for Blitz. It shouldn't be in Tier 10. It just kind of causes skilled players to get really mad when they get punished for making a mistake that's not their fault, and yeah, I really just disagree with this tank being in the game. I feel like it should be the same result as the Sheridan Missile, where you can play it in game modes, but maybe not in pub battles. Either way, the 183 can be a very fun tank, and it's definitely going to be a lot more fun for people that do play it because of the improved accuracy. It's probably like 20% more accurate, I'd be willing to say. So now that we've talked about the 183, I thought I still got to show you guys some gameplay of the tank. Now, I'm actually not going to be playing in the 183 myself today. Instead, we're going to be taking a look at a replay by Abdul Kader. Now, this game is a pretty insane one when it comes to the 183. It's very rare to carry a losing situation this well, but you're gonna see just when the 183's high gear kicks in, and this gun really does connect its shells. So let's see what the enemy team has. They got a 60 TP, an FV215B 183, a Sheridan, a 62A, a T57 Heavy, and an E75, plus a 54E1. Okay, so the tanks I'd be worried about in the 183 is obviously the enemy 183, as this tank has very little armor. The 60 TP I'd be very worried about. I'd be worried about the Sheridan, 62A, 57 Heavy, and honestly, the E75. I mean, the enemy team is a pretty solid lineup because a lot of them have either armor or the Sheridan's got mobility, alpha, and camouflage over you. So there's a lot of things that the enemy team has that I'd be worried about in a normal game. But when you're at the back of a map as a tank destroyer, obviously your priorities are a little different as you're more focused on shooting from the back and supporting your team. When it comes to me and the 183, and like specifically today, I was thinking about playing the tank. I was like, do I want to make a video on the vehicle and play it? And then I was like, nah, I really don't want to play the tank. The 183 is just a luck cannon. That's all it is. You basically, every time you shoot with your AP or your Hesh, you're rolling a D20 die and hoping to not get your arms cut off by some sort of sorcerer. And that's how I really feel about the 183, is that it's really just, it's a luck roll. You either hit your shells or you don't. And even if you do hit your shells, half the time, because you're not in the front line, your team falls apart. But here we go, 425 meters away, fire, and oh man, goes perfectly into the T54E1. I can't really criticize where he's aiming at the 54E1 because, let's be honest, from 425 meters away, your shell is never going to go directly where you aim. I could have aimed, I don't know, 10 feet to the side of the 5041, and it still could either hit him or not, just based on pure luck. But what I can say is that this is the only tank in the game that can deal 2,300 damage in 2 shells. I mean, even a Yag couldn't do that unless you're firing HE shells, which is pretty insane when you think about that. So we got the 54E1 already absolutely nuked. We got the T62A who spotted the 183 and doesn't really want to poke him now. In this situation here, this is a weird battle because both teams are kind of not doing great, but definitely Nadar's team is doing much worse. You can see they still have a full health 57 heavy, a full health 60 TP, and yeah, you'll notice that his 60 TP and E100 are less than half health. That's not great. That's not great at all. The 268 version 4 is for some reason off to the medium side, meaning that he's basically useless as he, can't do much. So, oh boy, this is not a great battle. 3 versus 5 right now. Oh, well, maybe, just maybe, he's going to be able to connect a Hess shell onto one of these tanks over here. You'll also notice that, yeah, this is just not going well. But, oh, there you go. 1,020 damage into the 57 heavy. That's a pretty easy shell, and definitely showcases where you can get an easy half health off of the enemy team. So, now the 60 TP is dead. 2 versus 5. Who's going to win this battle? Well, what I can say is this enemy 57 heavy is not very smart. He literally just got shot by that... This is why you aim in your shells. I talked about it earlier, and it came back to haunt Nadar. Oh boy, well, at least he'll learn his lesson for next time. The 183 is just one of those tanks that if you do not aim in fully, it has a very high likelihood of missing. And that is exactly what happened here, is the 183 missed. So, 268 version 4 rams the 57 heavy, finishing him off. Now, I'm not going to lie, that would have been a lot more damage at the end of this battle if that shell had ended up hitting. But either way, 183 is now pushing up towards base B, as... well, I do gotta say, base capture is going to be a big problem in this game if you don't deal with it soon. They're up to 940 on the base cap. They still have a full health 60 TP and a 183 that I don't think's been spotted or shot at the entire battle. And, oh yeah, that is definitely the case. Now, thankfully, Nadar here is full health. But how long is he going to be able to stay full health? Because we got the 183 off to the side here, and... fire! Oh, that was a really, really lucky pen. Honestly, that shouldn't have penned. You can see where that shell hit him on the side of the turret there, and man, that was a lucky, lucky shell. Alright, well, with that 1,400 damage, all he needs to do is fire a standard shell into his tank. Boom! There you go. Standard shell finishes off the 183, and now it's a 900 health tank with literally no armor versus a 1,900 health tank that has the advantage of base cap, armor, mobility. In this situation here, Nadar is in every losing scenario. I would never ever think that my 183 would win this game, but their 60 TP is not very smart, but neither is Nadar, bouncing a shell off of the upper plate. Okay, now this is even worse. Now Nadar is at 303 health against a 60 TP. Oh boy, this isn't going great. Also, I don't know why, but I swear this guy's not running calibrated on his 183. So here we go. This is the losing... oh my god. And Nadar also doesn't aim in the shell, meaning that he got an incredibly lucky auto-aim from PC there that actually penned the tank. Okay, well, it's still not a great situation here. 970 on the base cap. 975 on the base cap. All this 60 TP has to do is not drive over the ridge. All he has to do is not that. Yeah. Congratulations, 60 TP. You threw one of the easiest wins I've ever seen in Blitz history. Yeah, I gotta be honest, this 183 player, he did a good job, but there was definitely a lot of mistakes here and there, and, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, you shouldn't have won. Let's be real here. That 60 TP, 100% through the easiest dub in his life. It's not letting me look at his account at all, which is kind of weird. But either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, yeah, I gotta say, the 183 is an incredibly powerful tank, as you can see by that game, but it's also not a great tank for winning. Even in that situation with 7,000 damage, it could have easily been a loss if that 60 TP just grew one brain cell. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Let me know what you guys think about the buff in the next update. Bye-bye.